And welcome back to Subculture. Well, as you know, we've been taking a look at some of the comedy festival shows that are coming up at this year's 2023 Melbourne International Comedy Festival. And one of the shows we're going to take a look at is Callum Straford's brand new show. Callum Straford will nail everything. Now, we thought, what better way to take a look at this show but to actually get Callum on the phone today. Welcome to the program, mate.
Thank you, David. Hello, everybody. How are you all?
Now, Callum, this sounds absolutely amazing. You're going to nail everything with this show, so tell us a little bit about this show and what we can expect to see.
Yeah, basically I was pretty much just, throughout my whole life, I was just sort of sick of being, okay at things. I'd try lots of things, and then I'd just be all right at them. So I've decided that there's going to be a change happening, right now, as soon as this show starts. I'm going to completely take every facet of life and be absolutely perfect at every one of them. As you said, I'm tired of being I want to be more like that. I want to be as good as, the lasagna that you get from an Italian mother, and recently, and pretty much my whole life, I've been more like the lasagna you get from an RSL or something like that. So I'm just I'm going to work really hard, and I'm going to take every facet of life, just from my parties, relationships, languages, applying sunscreen, meditating, all of that stuff, I'm going to absolutely perfect and achieve undeniable brilliance at.
So was there something that sparked this life change for you?
I suppose, just it's interesting because I'd watch, all these big figures, I'd go to concerts and see, Elton John or Billy Joel just tearing it up on the piano. I'm just man, I forget to practice every week, and look at him up there, and I can't even remember to practice during the week. So I've got to get I've got to get it all together, and try and be great. I think with watching all those, and there's people that are well revered, I should say. That people like Mahatma Gandhi, he said this awesome quote, and I'm I've got no awesome quotes. I say this, I've got nothing in my repertoire. The best thing I've written is probably a Google review about a Google review on some fast food that I ate. So I'm just okay, I'm sick of just being I want to do something that people are going to remember.
Now, you are a very, very talented man, and of course this show will have sketch comedy, song, and stand-up. Tell us a little bit about how you bring together a show like this. How do those ideas start flowing for you, and when do you start putting them all together to form a show?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Thank you. It starts off an idea, a comedic idea just starts off as an idea, and you let your brain go wild and see which sort of format it suits. So, as you said, I've got stand-up, sketch, and music, and I do have a dramaturg. For those of you who don't know what a dramaturg is, it's just someone who oversees the writing and just sort of does edits for you and suggests things for you. So I have the dramaturg, Charlie Lewin, who's another amazing Melbourne comedian, and he sort of helps me decide, this is actually, as you're telling me about this experience you had, this is just stand up. It's already funny. You don't need to make it a sketch or a song. And other times he'd be actually no, that would actually suit a fourth wall being put up, and play a character doing this and recreate the scenario that happened, or tell us about this experience through song, because it could be really, really funny. For instance, I have a song. I had an experience a year and a half ago where I dropped my AirPods into the Yarra River, and I was trying to figure out a funny way to do that on stage, and it just clicked that I just started playing the piano, and I just started singing about how my AirPods might be feeling down there in the Yarra, and that's how it all goes together. So it's a bit of a trial and error, but you eventually find a format that works for the idea. Yeah.
For young comics out there who might be listening, how important is that to have someone like Charlie is for you working with you on a show like this? Because I think there's a little bit of a misconception out there that these days that anyone can be funny, they've just got to put a microphone in front of them, and that's definitely not true. So how important is that for you to have someone like Charlie there?
It is just, it's everything, really. I found it to be, like, amazingly helpful because even if they don't have, like, I'm pretty still writing everything. But if you have someone there just saying, yes, that's good, no, I don't think you should do that, or how about you tap into this side of it, that's the funnier side. That is everything, because if you don't have someone there, that's fine, but you're pretty much relying on, you're risking it by going up in front of an audience and it potentially not working, and that happens all the time anyway. But you can get it to a more refined into a more refined piece if you have a bit of help before you get it up on stage. But yeah, it is just everything, and if they know you well, if they get to know you, they know your strengths, and they can suggest, other points of view on things, and they can literally train you, just like saying, like, they'll just sit me down and say, like, oh yeah, this scenario happened to you. You dropped your AirPods in the Yarra River. Tell me about it. Literally, just get all your feelings out, and I'm going to tell you if anything about that's funny, and write it down if it is funny, so that can go in your act.
And is the show constantly evolving as well? Like, with the different audience every night, will people see an evolution of the show as the festival goes on?
For sure, yeah. I think I often say that most of my shows during a season, my shows are probably about 90% the same. There's always a 10% that I improve. I polish up every night, but also something I might add in, or some little bit of improv might happen. Like, I could do, like, and completely embellish one bit and do an extra minute on it or something like that. And because I did this show during the Melbourne Fringe last year in October, and it's got it's, even though there's is mostly the same material since October, but there's a fair bit of new material and some little cuts that I've made. But it is to answer your question, yeah, very much so. As I like to sort of strive towards a finished product. It's never ending, but I always strive towards the finished product.
And an audience can change things as well. I remember seeing you a couple of years ago. I think it was at the Comedy Festival, and you were doing your show, and there was a guy there who, I don't want to use the word stalker, but he seemed to have been to a lot of your shows, and the interaction between the two of you was great. So those kinds of things can change a show as well, can't they?
For sure. That's really funny that you remember that. Yeah, I think I do remember. I think I do remember it. But yeah, and it's always weird when you look into an audience and you see someone, like, sometimes you get the most, like, random people that in your audience. Like, there's someone I haven't seen for 3 years, and just here at my comedy show, like, we went on a date once, like, 4 years ago. We haven't seen you since, and now you're here and you're paying to see me, in person the second time. It's so strange, and it's very strange.
Well, mate, for anyone that wants to come along and see Callum this time around, his show Callum Straford Nails Everything is on from the 3rd to the 9th of April. 5:30 each night for 55 minutes at the Butterfly Club, and you can grab tickets now at comedyfestival.com.au. Callum, to finish off, 2 quick questions. First of all, what would you like to say to everybody out there who wants to head along and check out your show? And also, a question we're asking every comic that comes on this year's show. Is there someone else out there that you think people should go and see as well as your show as well?
Okay, so first, to let everyone know, the last thing you should know before coming to my show, or something to get you along, is everyone expect undeniable brilliance. Expect me fully to enter the doorway into enlightenment and reach, a state of spiritual bliss and completely be perfect at every single thing. That's all you can expect. And in terms of someone else, there are so many. I have a huge list. I want to say one of my give a shout out. Am I able to do more than one? Just
yeah, definitely. Yep. Go for it.
Okay. So amazing comedians that I'm really good friends with is Con Kudus. He's at the Butterfly Club as well. He's doing a new show. He's very hard worker and is probably the best performer at wordplay I've ever seen. And his writing is amazing. Aidan Wilcox and Isaac Haig are doing their Melbourne Fringe winning show, Songs in the Heart of the Whole of My Bottom, I think, those two. And then a more, established performer you can see is probably, I'd say, Sam Campbell, who's an Australian treasure at this point. Like, he's just doing so well. But yeah, that's. But look, there are so many. I think I've just said 3 out of 500. There is endless. My list is huge. So enjoy the comedy festival, and I hope you enjoy my show if you come along.
Definitely. And for everybody out there, again, Cal's show is on from the 3rd to the 9th of April, 5:30 each night at the Butterfly Club. And you can grab those tickets now at comedyfestival.com.au. And there'll be links up on our website as well, how you can grab tickets to Callum's shows. Mate, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today. It's been an absolute honour having you on the show. And I can't wait to check out your show at the festival this year.
You're so welcome, and I can't wait to have you in the audience, David. Thank you, and thank you to everyone for listening. Thank you.